Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, The Guide, The Knowledge Hub. This is Ramesh, Faculty of Biology. Dear students, please subscribe and share the YouTube channel, The Guide, The Knowledge Hub. But dear students, from this channel, our teachers are explaining lessons for students as well as who are preparing for DSC. Those DSC aspirants purpose also, our faculty is explaining all the lessons better. You can follow this channel, each and every students. Okay, so dear students, in the previous class already I started respiration in organisms lesson. So in this lesson we discussed some topics. So in previous class I told you already the pathway of air means a respiratory tract. What is that? Respiratory tract. And clear details and more than details we will discuss in this session about pathway of air, and the remaining details also I will explain. Okay, dear students, here what is the passage of air? How the air is enters into the lungs? What processes takes place? What phenomena is takes place to entering of the air into the lungs? How the air enters into the lungs? How the air comes out from the lungs? Okay, once all of you look at the board. So there is a nostrils. First of all, the air enters into the nostrils, and next nasal cavity, next pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchus, bronchioles, alveolus, and last and final blood. Okay, blood is the medium of transporting carbon dioxide and oxygen actually. So the air purification takes place in alveoli. I told you already before. So here I wanted to explain about this respiratory tract or pathway of air. First of all, I would like to explain about first nose means nostril cavity, nostrils, nasal cavity. So air enters the body through nostrils. The nasal cavity is lined with the nasal cavity is contains so which trap the fine dust particles, unwanted particles, unwanted substances present in the inhaled air. Some unwanted substances, dust particles are present in our inhaled air and prevent them from reaching the lungs. So while we are breathing, so the dust particles, suspended particles are entering through our air. So those dust particles are suspended particles are stopped in the nasal cavity because there are some small hair-like structures are present in our nose. Okay, the inside of the nose is also covered by a sticky fluid. That fluid is called as mucus. What is that? Mucus. So dust particles and germs, some suspended particles, stick to the mucus. If any substance, if any particle, if any germs are entering with the air into the nose, so those particles are stopped in the nasal cavity. That means mucus. The mucus is stopped. So under prevented from existing into the lungs. This mucus is prevented the entering into the lungs. What may be the entering the dust particles, suspended particles into the nose. So the inhaled air is cleaned by some hair-like structures present in our nose. So the mucus present in the nasal cavity is slimy substance, a sticky fluid, that is mucus. The mucus is stopped all these particles, dust particles, suspended particles. So all these are cleaned by the mucus layer or mucus fluid. Okay, so and also the air you breathe in usually cooler than your body temperature. While we are breathing in air, this air is cooler. Okay, while we are breathing in and breathing out, we feel cool and warm. We feel cool while we are breathing the air, inhaling the air, inspiring the air. While we are breathing out, we feel warm. Already we conducted that activity in the previous class. Okay, so it is warmed up by the blood vessels present in the nasal cavity. Some blood vessels are, number of blood vessels are present in our body, nasal cavity. So that is about nasal cavity. Okay, the mucus is present in our nasal cavity. The mucus is the sticky fluid. The suspended particles, unwanted substances, dust is stopped by this mucus layer or mucus fluid, sticky like substance. And next, pharynx. So after larynx, next trachea. So pharynx, from the nose, air enters into the pharynx. From the nose, air enters into the pharynx. Actually, in the pharynx, the epiglottis is present in the pharynx. So pharynx is the region behind the nose and mouth leading down to the throat. So this pharynx is down under the nose and it leads to the next part, throat. So again I am repeating, from the nose the air enters into the pharynx. So pharynx is the one of the region. So it is behind the nose and the mouth. It is leading into the throat. Okay, clear? So the lower portion of the pharynx, leads to the larynx. The lower portion of the pharynx leads to the larynx. So larynx is also known as voice box. Larynx is also known as voice box. It has fold of tissues called vocal cords. Some vocal cords are present in the voice box. Have you clear? Are you understanding? So that these vocal cords vibrate with the passage of air and produce sound. So the larynx leads to the windpipe. The larynx leads to the windpipe or trachea. So the larynx is continuous to the windpipe or trachea. So the trachea further divides into two branches called bronchi inside the chest cavity. So this trachea, some ring-like structures are present in the trachea. You may touch once, you may feel this is trachea while you are talking, while we are singing. So the vibrations takes place in this region. Okay, so this larynx leads to the next trachea. The trachea is further divided into two branches called bronchus. So the bronchus is next. I would like to explain about bronchus. So bronchus, there are two branches. There are two branching tubes of trachea are called bronchi. Okay, bronchus is the singular word. Bronchi is the plural word. So each bronchus leads into the lungs. So the bronchus is divided into two ways of bronchioles, like a bronchioles. So each bronchi leads to each lung. Each bronchus is open into each lung. So where the branches again and again into thousands of smaller and smaller branches. Again, this bronchus is divided into when the bronchus is divided into two, each bronchus is opening into the lungs, each lung. So again, each bronchus is divided into number of branches. So these number of branches are called as bronchioles. What are these? Bronchioles. Have you understanding? So this trachea leads to the bronchus. The bronchus leads to the bronchioles. What is that? Bronchioles. And next, lungs. The bronchioles are enters into the lungs. Actually, a pair of lungs are present in our chest cavity. One pair of lungs. The left lung is smaller than the right lung. The left lung is smaller than the right lung. So, a sac-like structures, 8 sacs are present in the lungs. So, these are the alveolus. Actually, there are 2 pair of lungs. One is left, one is right. Okay, so the left, what is this? The left lung contains 2 lobes. The left lung is 2 lobes, while the right lung is 3 lobes. Okay, no? Left lung is 2 lobes, right lung is 3 lobes. Okay, have you understood? So these lungs are covered with 2 layers. They are called flora. What is that? Flora. So next, this lung and this lung. Each lung is a spongy bag-like structures. A spongy. They are looking like sponge. They are looking like a sponge. A bag-like structures. They are covered by floral membrane. These 2 lungs are covered by floral membrane. In between the 2 floral membranes, and the fluid is. The 2 floral membranes contains one fluid. That fluid name is floral fluid. What is floral? This is flora. So these 2, the flora means 2 layers are covered by this, cover the lungs. These 2 layers means this flora contains one fluid. That fluid is floral fluid. It keeps the surface of the lungs moist for easy diffusion. Okay, diffusion means it's spreading throughout the body in the protozoan organisms. For example, if you kept any of the scent bottle in the room, in the classroom, so automatically the scent bottle is that smell from the scent bottle, the smell is spreading throughout the room. So here it keeps this floral fluid keeps the surface of the lungs moist for diffusion of gases. Means oxygen and carbon dioxide. So moist for is diffusion. They have gases. So oxygen and carbon dioxide. The lungs are protected by the rib cage. This pair of lungs are protected by the rib cage. So number of ribs are enclosed to the lungs. These lungs are enclosed by the rib cage. So below the lungs, there is a. Once look at the board, all of you. Yes, is it clear? So this is diaphragm. So actually, this is a muscular sheet. So a muscular sheet, that is called as diaphragm. Below the lungs, a muscular sheet is present. That is called, what is that? Diaphragm. So this diaphragm contraction, the contraction and relaxation of muscles, which plays an important role in breathing. So while we are breathing in, so this diaphragm comes down. While we are breathing out, again this diaphragm come back. This diaphragm takes relaxation. So the more details I will explain. So just listen. So below the lungs, a sheet-like structure is there. That is diaphragm. What is that? Diaphragm. So after that, the air enters into the alveoli. What is that? Alveoli. So alveoli at the end of the bronchioles. At the end of the bronchioles, a microscopic sac-like structures. A microscopic number of millions of sac-like structures are present in the lungs, called alveoli. So each air sac has a groups. So each and every sac is looking like a groups of alveoli. So alveoli is the plural word. I told you already. Alveolus is the singular word. So the thin walls of the alveoli are richly supplied with blood capillaries. So they are thin walled. These are the thin walled capillaries. They contain blood capillaries. So they richly supplied with blood capillaries. There are millions of alveoli in each lung. Each lung contains billions of alveolar structures. Okay, so the air is purifying here. Finally, from this blood capillaries, the air is supplying to the various parts of the body. The purification of gases, the oxygen is transported by this. The oxygen is supplied by these blood capillaries from the alveoli. The purified air is mixed with blood. The blood is the medium of transporting the carbon dioxide and oxygen. So these blood capillaries, the blood contains hemoglobin. He means iron, globin means protein. So the iron, the element iron is present in the hemoglobin. The hemoglobin is the responsible to supply, transport the oxygen to the various parts of the body. So remaining carbon dioxide, how the air is enters into the blood, lungs. So at the same pathway, the carbon dioxide comes out from the lungs to the atmosphere, air. So this is about pathway of air, respiratory tract. So here just I wanted to recall one point. A flap-like tissue behind the tongue. A flap-like tissue behind the tongue is called epiglottis. The epiglottis, already told you. The epiglottis is present in the part of pharynx. So this epiglottis covers the trachea. When you swallow food, it prevents the food from entering into the windpipe. So the epiglottis, what is the role of epiglottis? So the epiglottis prevents the food from the entering the windpipe while you are eating. So while we are eating, so there is two ways, the windpipe and food pipe. While we are eating food, sometimes the food may enters into the windpipe. So that's why, so the diversion of food and air into the diversion of food into the food pipe, the diversion of air into the windpipe by the epiglottis. So that epiglottis is located in the pharynx. So this is about some details of pathway of air. So finally, that is about pathway of air. So here, dear students, I wanted to recall a red blood cells. Red blood cells contains about 250 millions of hemoglobin molecules. How many? 250 millions of hemoglobin molecules. So each hemoglobin molecule can carry for oxygen molecule. Okay, each hemoglobin molecule is carry the oxygen molecule. So there are 4 millions to 6 millions of red blood cells are present in each cubic milliliter of blood. 1 milliliter of blood contains 4 to 6. How many? 4 to 6 millions of red blood cells. Okay. And next, exercise and breathing. The topic exercise and breathing. What is next topic? While we are doing exercises, so how our respiration takes place. So you may have seen that begin to the pant. Pant means breathe with short. Pant means quick breaths. So while we are begin to pant after running or exercising, so do exercise and running affect the rate of rate at which we breathe in and breathe out. So while we are doing exercises, our breathing rate is increased. Automatically our breathing rate is increased. So the inhalation and exhalation rates are increased. So in your opinion, does the respiration rate increase or decrease after exercising? So in your opinion, does the respiration rate increase or decrease after exercising? Yes, when we are doing exercises, we need more energy. So we also need more oxygen. So our body organs are doing hard work, doing work, more work. So while we are doing any other work, we need energy, we need more energy. That's why here also, while we are doing exercises, we need more energy. So we also need more oxygen and need get rid of carbon dioxide. So while we are doing exercises and playing something else, we need oxygen. At the same time, get rid of carbon dioxide. We are responsible to release carbon dioxide. Automatically, the rates of the increasing of the rate of oxygen, automatically the carbon dioxide level also increased. Then we will automatically release the carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide automatically get rid of from our body. So our breathing rate increases because there is a direct relationship. There is a direct relationship between exercise and breathing. So the air we breathe in fills our lungs that are located in our chest. So already told you, the pair of lungs are located in our chest cavity. The lungs are enclosed by our chest. Okay, you know already the total lung capacity. The total lung capacity is 5,800 ml. Okay, now while we are breathing, so 500 ml we are taking, and remains when we are exhaling the air. So 120 ml of air is remain in our lungs, but our lung capacity is 5,800 ml. But we are unable to breathing in. We are unable to breathe 5,800 ml. We are even unable to breathe near even 500 ml of air. Okay, the total lung capacity of human beings 5,800 ml. Normally, at rest of the time, we inhale or exhale approximately 500 ml. So ml of air. So 120 ml of air remains in the lungs after completion of exhalation. Okay, clear? So here expansion of chest with each breath. While we are breathing in, our chest automatically expanded. Look at. So this is expansion of chest with each breath. So you can take a length of twine or measuring tape and wrap W-R-A-P. Wrap means cover or enclose. You can cover or enclose with the measuring tape. Okay, so around the chest and measure the width of the your chest or our chest. So you can take that measuring tape and enclose the chest cavity and put it like this, the chest cavity. So you can take any of the what is that twine or measuring tape. You can enclose the chest cavity with the help of tape, measuring tape, and breathe in and breathe out automatically. So the chest cavity volume is increasing. You can do at your home with the help of measuring tape. So hold this tape tightly and breathe in and out deeply a few seconds. So here, do you find any differences between measurements? Yes, absolutely. We can find out the differences between while we are breathing in and breathing out. While you are measuring the chest cavity with the help of measuring tape. While we are breathing in, means inhale, our chest cavity volume increased. Yes or no? While exhale, our chest cavity volume decreases. While you are breathing in, chest cavity increased. While you are breathing out, chest cavity decreased. So when you breathe out or exhale, your diaphragm relaxes and moves up into your chest cavity. As the space in your chest cavity gets smaller, air rich in carbon dioxide is forced out of your lungs and automatically. So here the diaphragm is playing very key role. The diaphragm. So here carbon dioxide forcibly out of your lungs and windpipe and then out of your nose or mouth. So there is a diaphragm. The diaphragm playing very key role. What is the role of diaphragm? I will explain. So what is the role of diaphragm? So here mechanism of breathing. So the process of taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide is known as breathing. Okay. So when we inhale air, that is taking air means inhalation, our ribs move upwards or outwards. As the muscle in the rib case contract, the muscles are contracted in our chest cavity while we are breathing in. So at the same time, the diaphragm becomes flat and moves downward due to contraction. While we are breathing in, our lungs are fulfilled with air. Then the lung size will be increased. So the lungs are coming down. So automatically the diaphragm comes down. The diaphragm is because of the lungs are filling with the air. The lungs are growing. The lungs volume is increasing. Then automatically, if the lungs are growing, increasing like this, they are looking. For example, just imagine these two are balloons. If you are filling the balloons with the air, then the balloons are. They say as the balloon's volume is increasing, then the diaphragm moves downwards. So that is only I am telling. Again I am repeating. So at the same time, the diaphragm. So when we inhale air, the ribs moves upward. Outwards. As the muscles, the muscles are present in the chest cavity. These muscles in the rib case contract. So at the same time, the diaphragm becomes flat and moves. Downwards. Have you understood? So the diaphragm moves downwards due to contraction of the muscles. So this expand of the rib case, increasing the volume. So as the volume of the chest cavity increases, the air pressure in it decreases. As a result, air is drawn into the lungs. Okay. So when we exhale air, that is breathing out, the diaphragm muscles relax and move upward. So thus the space inside the chest cavity decreases and the pressure increases. While the time of inside chest cavity decreases, the pressure increases. The air pressure increases. So as a result, the air rich in carbon dioxide rushes out. So the carbon dioxide rushes out. The carbon dioxide comes out. So when we are breathing out. So while we are breathing in, our lungs are fulfilled with air, then our lungs volume is increased, then the diaphragm moves downwards. While we are breathing out, automatically the air is coming out from the lungs. So then the diaphragm comes same place, means it takes relaxation by releasing of carbon dioxide. Okay, the volume of the lungs also decreased. Okay, so here automatically while we are breathing in, chest cavity increased. While we are breathing out, automatically chest cavity decreased, but air pressure increased. So this is about diaphragm. This is about diaphragm. Have you understood clearly? So while we are breathing in, the lungs are fulfilled with air. So then the volume of the lungs increased. Then the diaphragm comes down. Here comes down. So when it comes down, so automatically the diaphragm comes down like this. Diaphragm comes down because of this lungs volume is increasing. Okay, so when at the time of expel carbon dioxide, so automatically the lungs volume is decreased. Lungs volume is decreased. At the same time, the diaphragm comes. The diaphragm comes the same place. The diaphragm takes relaxation. Okay, so is it clear? So I will show you the diaphragm mechanism of breathing activity in the next class. So I think you understood, dear children. So are you understood? Yes. Thank you one and all.